Welcome to Lesson 13. We're going to start with harmonics today. I have composed this song called Chimes in the Village Square specifically for harmonics. Now, if you remember from our last lesson, the harmonics are very precise and they're found in one specific spot on the harp. So you have to kind of go up and down with your thumb to find the spot with your right hand and with your left hand. So that's what we're going to work on the first song. It also has some other things in it just to tie the harmonics together basically, because it's hard to have a whole song with just harmonics. It has some crossovers here. There's one, there's one. They're not real difficult, but they are in there. Now you can tell I've got the left hand harmonics and the right hand harmonics written here. Usually the left hand harmonics would be down here maybe, or they would be signified by LH or left hand. So harmonics can be done with either hand. The method is entirely different. Let me show you the method one more time. With the right hand, you're going to, and if you don't let go at the right time, you just get a very loud note of the one you're trying to do the harmonic, like that. There you go. See, it sounds like that note. Use this little part of your finger right there and the edge of your thumb. With the left hand, you use the heel of your hand and your thumb. Some people go like this. Most people leave their hand open. Here, that sounds just like that C up there. Whoops, missed that time. There, just one spot that works. Now, when we're playing this song, if you miss it, you just missed it. Just go ahead with the song, and as you practice, you'll hit some and you'll miss some. And I still do the same thing because I don't use them often enough to have them perfected. If you use them a lot, then you probably should make a little mark on your string where your thumb goes. And even if your thumb is in the right place, if you don't let go with the rest of your hand at the proper time, it's still not going to make the proper sound. So it's going to take you just a little while to get used to doing these harmonics. So go ahead and print your page out, practice your harmonics for as long as you need, and then we'll come back and play it together. Okay, let's play Chimes in the Village Square together now. I'll give us a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, very good. Next we're going to discuss playing with chords. Now I've picked a very simple song, Mary Had a Little Lamb, to show you how you need to invert the chords on the melody line when you're playing a song. This is not a particularly hard song to play, but we're going to be learning how to invert the chords so that we can use them to add to the music with our right hand. Notice there is no left hand in this song, because we're not going to be using our left hand. Okay, we're going to start with C chord, because Mary Had a Little Lamb starts on a C chord. There's root position, which is C, E, G, first inversion, which is E, G, C, and second inversion, which is G, C, E. Now, we're simply going to take the first line, Mary Had a Little Lamb. You see the melody note is an E. So if you played C in the root position, you would have here's your melody note. If you play it in the root position, your melody's going to be way up here. So that's not going to sound correct. So what you need to do is use the inversion that puts the E on top. So that is second inversion. So you have Mary. This is the note you want to start on. Okay? Then the D, we're not going to play a chord on that. Then we go to the C. Now, in order to play the C on top, you still can't use root position because that is C, E, G. So if you go, you can't hear your melody. You have to have the C on top. So in order to do that, you're going to have to play an inversion of C, which is first inversion. That's the one that has the C on top. So we have Mary had. They're both C chords, just different inversions. And then the D, we're not playing a chord on. And then you go back to the E again. Okay, and that's the way it would be played. Here I have it written out. Mary had a little lamb. Okay, let's go to the next phrase. It's G chord, little lamb, is all we're going to do right now. Okay, here's your note, D. Well, that's lucky because you can play your root position on that. Fits right in. So you don't have to do any inverting of any chords for that little line. And then we're going to go up to little lamb up here. It's another C chord. Okay? Your notes are little lamb. Go back to the E here. It's a C chord, but if you played it in root position, it wouldn't be an E, it would be a G, so you have to keep your E on top. So it's going to be third or second inversion. And then the second note is G. And the third note where we're going to play our chord is G. Oh, look what happens. You get to play a root position C with your G on top. So here it is. Little lamb. Okay? We're going to go on down. Mary had a little lamb again. Okay? You've got C chords. C chords. Mary had a little lamb. Okay? You have to keep the E on top. So that's going to be second inversion. Mary had. You have to have a C on top. So put the other two notes in the C chord underneath it. A. Little lamb. Those are the same notes. Have to have an E on top again. So put the rest of the C chord underneath it. However you need to turn that C chord around to keep the melody note on top, that's what you have to do. And it's going to be one of those inversions. So keep that in mind. When you first start doing this, it seems difficult. But as you get used to it, it gets easier and easier and easier. And first thing you know, it's just like rolling off a log. It just comes naturally. Okay. And then we have the last line, fleece as white as snow. Okay, it's G chords again, fleece as white as snow. It changes to a C there. But so you've got fleece as white. Fleece is a G chord, and you can keep it in root position because there's a D on top, and there it is. And then it goes to a C again. Got to have an E on top, so that means C and G are going to be underneath it. And then you got a D by itself. And then you have a C on the bottom. Can't have it in root position or you'd have... That's not the way the song ends. You have to have this on top. So you have to put a G and an E underneath it. And there it is. G, G, C, D, C chord. And that's all there is to it. Our next song is My Country 'Tis of Thee. We just celebrated the 4th of July just a couple days ago, but you certainly might not be watching this around the 4th of July, so we've been singing this song a lot lately. In this song, we're going to talk about the chord G7. First of all, the song employs different inversions of different chords that we talked about, but it also has a G7 chord in it. Now, as we learned before, a chord is made up of the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th degrees of a scale. G chord would be G, B, and D. Well, a G7 puts the 7th on there. So it's G, B, D, F. And it's a real nice sound. You can do a 7th on any chord. You can do a C7, a D7, an E7. But G7 is one of the most popular chords that is used that way. So you're going to see a chord in here that has an F on top. It has a G, a B, a D, and then it has an F. And you might think, well, that doesn't fit in with a G chord. But it is. It's a G7th. And that's the sound. And for effect, you can run, and then you start into something. I use G7 a lot in my music. Okay, so we're going to play this song. There really isn't anything else new in it. It's got more chords in it. We're going to start playing songs with more chords on both hands, since that's what we've been studying. So practice this, print it out, go over it several times, and then we'll play it. Let's play My Country 'Tis of Thee together now. It's written in 3/4, so I'm going to be giving you a 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. Nice hand position for those chords, thumbs up, wrists straight, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. Very good. Long, long ago is an old traditional favorite. A lot of times when I go to a nursing facility, the older people there like to hear this song, Long, Long Ago, and You Are My Sunshine, and some of the old favorites. This song is practicing our chords, and it's going to have G7s in it, and Cs and Gs, and an F in there. What's different about this one is we're going to use 4 notes with one hand. We haven't done that yet. It's a G7 chord that I've got that on. I think all of the 4-note ones except this last one are G7s. And if you'll notice, they're all piggybacked. So that means there are no notes skipped in between there. It's every other note all the way up. It's a G7. See if you can't get these chords to roll. Remember, when you roll all the way up from the bottom. So in a G7 case, it would be 7 notes instead of 6, but try to roll your chords if you can. If you can't, that's okay. Keep working on that. But anytime you see 3 notes together, remember, unless it's a very fast song or noted otherwise, you would probably be playing roll chords. Okay, there really isn't anything else new in this song. It doesn't move along too quickly. It's andante, which is walking speed, so it's a moderate speed. But of course, we're going to do it slowly. So go ahead, print these out if you haven't, practice them, and then we'll play it together. I noticed that on the last line of this song, there is a G chord that has 4 notes that are not piggybacked. So instead of a G7, it's a full G chord. So you're going to have to skip 2 notes there before your thumb goes, okay? And then the C chord at the end is the same way. Okay? All right, I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. this lesson is Swanee River or Old Folks at Home. It's another traditional favorite that the elderly people like. I play it a lot in nursing facilities, and even the young people like to hear Swanee River. Okay, this is a study on chord inversions, and if you'll notice, there's no notes for your left hand. Your right hand is playing down rather low, though, on the staff. For instance, this C chord is an E, a C, and a G. And this one is a C, a G, and an E on the bottom. So you notice the chords do go down kind of low there. That's okay, because that gives you good practice in reading those ledger line chords. I didn't put any 4-note chords in here, however, so you did catch a break there. Now, once you've learned this down low, you can also play it up an octave. And you could also play this with your left hand if you wanted to. It'd be the same fingering, the same chords, except with your left hand. That would be good practice, since your left hand seems to be the one that has more trouble moving around quickly than your right hand. Okay, let's go ahead and practice this song separately, and then we'll play it together. Are you ready to play Swanee River? I'm going to give us a very slow 4 count and then a 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. We've completed lesson 13 now. Don't you feel good about that? Look how far you've come and how much you've learned. We'll see you next time for lesson 14.